In this video, we will be installing the Alexa Skills Kit command line interface, or ASK CLI. We'll be going through the install steps, but if for any reason you run into challenges, this page being displayed and the link which will be provided will always contain the latest documentation on how to perform the install. Before we get started, you'll need to have an Amazon developer account and an AWS account set up. You'll also need to have the latest version of Node.js installed, as well as the latest version of Git installed. Since we'll be using AWS Lambda to host our Skills backend logic, we'll need to ensure AWS credentials are set up with the appropriate permissions on the computer that we're installing the ASK CLI. So our first step is to set up the AWS IAM, or Identity Access Management user. So let's sign in to our AWS Management Console, and here we can search for IAM under Services. This will launch the IAM console. Then we can click on Policies. And then we're going to create a policy. We're going to click on the JSON tab. And there's a JSON file in the exercise files that we need to copy and paste in here. It's called ask-cli-policy.json. So I'm just going to select all, copy it here, and I'm going to switch back to my console. And here, I'm going to paste in that content. Once that's done, I can click on Review Policy. Let's give our policy a name. We can call it ASK CLI, all uppercase. And for description, we can put in allows permissions that ASK CLI needs. Then we can go down, scroll down, and click on Create Policy. Once our policy has been created, let's go ahead and click on Users. And we're going to add a user. Our username is going to be ask-CLI, again, all uppercase. For access type, we want to select Programmatic Access. Then click on Next Permissions. We'll then want to add this user to a group, so we can click on the Create Group button. Let's give our group a name. And again, we can use ask-CLI and click on Create Group. Next up, we click on Next Tags, Next Review, and then Create User. Now at this point, we're able to download a CSV file, which is a copy of our user's access key. So this is important. This really is our only opportunity to save the user's secret access key. And if you don't save it now, you'll have to delete this access key and then create a new one. So go ahead and click on Download CSV, and you can save that to your computer. Once that's done, now it's time to actually install ASK CLI. So we can open up a terminal. And first I'm going to navigate to my Downloads folder. Next, let's run the command to install the ASK CLI. So that is sudo npm install-g ask-cli. Hit enter. We provide our password. Just a quick note to Windows users. You'll first need to install Windows-build-tools from the PowerShell, and you'll need to run PowerShell as the administrator. So to do that, you can type in npm install --g production Windows build tools. In addition to that, you can open up your command prompt and type in npm install --g ASK CLI. So that's a slight change or a slight difference for the Windows installation. Now I'm going to switch back over to the terminal. Once we have ASK CLI installed, the first step is to initialize it with our Amazon and AWS credentials. So let's do that now. So we could type in ask init. That's going to open up a browser for us, and we have to log in here with our Amazon developer account. So I'll do that now. So we get a prompt that Alexa Skills Kit command line interface would like access to, and there are a bunch of features there. Just go ahead and click on Allow. And once that's done, we can close off that browser. Let's switch back over to the terminal. And we get a prompt. If you want to host your skills backend code in AWS Lambda, let's type in uppercase Y and hit enter. Now, if you had a default profile set up for your Amazon developer account and your AWS account, you should get those as an option showing up, and you can select the default profile. Since I don't have a default profile set up, I'll need to provide an AWS access key ID and secret access key to get that set up. So I'm going to switch over to my AWS console, and I can get that information here by clicking on my name, my security credentials. Then I can click on access keys, and I'm going to click on create a new access key. I can click on download key file, and that should save that to my machine. Also, I could click on show access key here, and we can copy the access key ID. So I can copy that value here. I'm going to switch back over to the terminal, paste in the access key ID, hit enter. Then I'm going to get the password, switch back over to the terminal, paste that in, and then hit enter. So this created our default profiles for us. So with that, our ASK CLI installation is complete.